What's going on, everybody, man? Welcome back. And I know what you're thinking. Well, first off, before we get into anything, man, what's going on, everybody? It's early in the morning where I'm at. And I'm like, you know, I'm kind of a little discouraged because, well, let me not say discouraged. I'm a little disappointed. And, you know, because I went on to, remember the reverse lockout I was telling you guys about? Well, clearly, as you can see, we're installing the Perrin one. It's not a bad thing. It's just, you know, it was more of a preference. Nothing wrong with the Perrin one. It was just more of a preference because of, you know, my shift knob. I'm pretty sure this is going to work perfectly fine with it, but we going to freaking find that. But the one I'm not going to say which website it was, but they said they had the one that I need in stock. I was like, ooh, I got lucky, because really you can't buy them anymore because, you know, racing, you know, they're not doing any, they're not building any parts like they used to anymore. They're not, you know, they transferred on to doing something else. So I thought I got lucky. I was going to grab that thing and I was like, yes, I'm going to be good to go. I have a complete set. No, I'm not, because I went on there and as I put it in, tried to put it in the cart, boom, it gave me an error message. So I was like, you know what, let me give it a day. Maybe they doing some work on the website or something like that. Yeah, I know, y'all, this just turned into story time. I know. But, you know, I said, let me do that. So I gave it another day and I tried it and I tried it again and it did the exact same thing. It gave me an error whenever I logged it, you know, put it in the cart. I said, you know what, let me try and put something else in the cart. So I put something else in the cart. I took that out, put the reverse lockout out, and I put something different in there, a different reverse lockout. And I put it in the cart. It went right into the cart. I said, view the cart. It let me view the cart. It was going to let me buy it. So that means that they don't have any. So here we are. We got the Perrin reverse lockout switch. I already kind of, what you got to do as far as what the instructions say is you got to put the roll pin and, you know, partially put it in there so that it doesn't stick out. You want to just flush with the inside of that so that when you slide it on the actual the shifter, it won't mess anything up or mar anything up. So that's already prepped up and ready to go. And as you can see by looking inside of here, they have it's like O-rings. So it's an O-ring right here. It's an O-ring further down. And is that the only one? I think that's it. So this is the old one. This is the stock one. So as you can see right here on the stock one, there's this little area right here. So this is what kind of, it's like a little, like a rubber, like a little film that's on here. And I'm guessing that's going to keep you from, even though you still can kind of hear, like it shakes back and forth because it got that little play in there. Kind of mitigates some of that vibration and that tattering. Well, if you put it on, like you switch your shifter over to the kartboy, you don't have that on there. That's the reason for that. And even in the instructions, when it's telling you to take all of this stuff off, you take this off, take this off, and you take this off, and it's going to tell you in the instructions to leave the spring and the rubber insulator on there. Well, when you're taking all this apart, you're like, what rubber insulator? There's no rubber insulator. They're talking about this part right here. So there's that, and the spring is what stays behind, but we ain't got that, so we're just gonna leave the spring on here. I almost got my hand all the way back. Not really, but it's kind of there. Still hurts. So there we go. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go on with installing this thing onto the car. So along with this, Perrin also has this energy suspension formula. It's pretty much a prelude, and basically that's going to go on the shifter itself, and also we're going to put it on the inside as well. That way it kind of slides on there, and it has something to kind of keep the rubber O-rings in place. You can see this right here, this little lip that's on there. It's this is the perch for the spring. So matter of fact, let's take our cotter pin out of there. If we take the spring off, you can see right here, it kind of perches on that right there like that. So that's what's going. I thought, for some reason, I don't know why I was thinking before that you won't be able to utilize the spring, but you do. So you leave that on there, and then the next thing we're going to do is I'm gonna line this thing up. So let's see how it's going to be in the car. It's going to be looking like this. So I kind of want the Perrin to face towards me, the driver, and then when they tell you in instructions, you want the roll pin in the back, and I'm guessing that's just to make it easier to hammer it straight forward and in. So knowing that, we are going to put our punch in, and we're going to find our opening for the reverse lockout so we can try and make that as smooth as a process as we can. All right, so there we go. We found that. And now all we got to do is we got to actually lube everything up. So we're going to open up this here energy suspension lube that they sent to us here. And then we're going to put some all on the short shifter. All right. And then next we want to put some on the inside of this. Hopefully like I said, I'm trying to get back used to using this GoPro. So now we're gonna slide this guy on, and then from there we're gonna slide it all the way on there, push it down, make sure our O-rings are on there. There we go. We had to work it around that thing there, and then we're pushing them all the way down so that we can get our reverse lockout lined up here. So now let's see if I can get this thing. Oh goodness, not going to be the easiest thing in the world to find and catch. Wait a minute. Oh, I got it. I think I got it. Yep, I got it. So now it's lined up right there. We're gonna hold the reverse lockout, the cable. So I'm gonna push it, and there it's kind of lined up in there. All right, so let's bring this guy up a little bit and let's start hammering it in. And move around like I wanted to, and I think that's it. You see right in that hole. I'm hoping you guys can see that. Now what I'm doing here is I'm putting this scribe in here because I'm wanting to make sure that in the little eyelet is where I need it to be. There we go. So I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's right. I kind of got the eyelet part of it in the center. I'll kind of show you guys here in a little bit. All right, here we go, y'all. So I think the camera overheated, so I better be ready for that. Good thing I did do this now, so I can put me back in the know of it overheating from time to time. I did scratch it a little bit, but I was able to get it in there. It's still sticking out a little bit too much on this side, so I'm gonna have to hammer it in a little bit more. But what I've been doing here is trying to work it, and it's a little stiff in the beginning coming up and down, but I'm almost thinking I might wind up taking this thing off and adding a little bit more grease. I might use my lithium grease instead of the energy suspension grease. Even though it is on there, it might help it move a little bit better. It's starting to move a little bit easier now, but you're gonna have to work this thing in and make it work to make it a little bit smoother. So I'm probably gonna do that. So let me, matter of fact, let me take this thing back off, put some more grease, and then let me see what it does after that. Let me see if I can make it move a little bit easier. It's actually getting there. It is actually getting there, but I think I need to add a little bit more grease. So let me go back through all of this again and get it lubricated well so it's moving a lot smoother than what it is right now. I'm pretty sure it's gonna start to wear in over time the more you use it, because it's getting easier and easier as I go, but I think I wanna add a little bit more grease on there. So let me get that going. All right, so I was able to get it off there. I actually got it on there a tad bit easier this go around. Let me tell you why that is. I got a roll pin that's actually smaller, and it fit pretty much on the inside of the, it lined up the hole, but it fit inside of the roll pin as well, so the roll pin would slide over it, but it kept it in line as well. And then I had to keep hammering on the inside here, and I used a scribe. Anything long enough, or you have a skinny, long, flat head, to once you hammer it to whatever side you hammer it to, whether it's front or back, it's gonna move the little cable eyelet to that direction. You kind of gotta unlarge it and try and keep it in the center, which is kind of what I have now. It's in the center. Well, it's not even in the center right now. I gotta move it again. So I use my scribe here to try and put that thing in the center. Now, when you do that, it's also, I'm gonna put it all the way to one side. Because when you do that, it knocks the pin out too. So if I put it all the way against the wall that way, since I'm hammering that way, when I do hammer it, it's gonna put the, that little eyelet in the center. All right, y'all, I'm back to the real camera. The GoPro just keeps overheating on me, man. So here we go. So I took it off of there, and like I was telling you guys, you use a smaller roll pin, which kind of fits in the center of the roll pin that's there, right? And you can line up the hole, you can get it to line your hole up, but then once you put your roll pin in, it'll keep your roll pin in place, lined up and coming down there. And if you, I don't know if you guys are probably not gonna be able to see in there. Let me see if I can get a little light in there. I don't know if that's helping, it's probably not. But you'll see, when you see in the middle of there, there's the little top part of the cable where the eyelet is, where you gotta get the roll pin through. It's gonna be either to the, if you're hammering that way, it's gonna be leaning that way, so you're gonna have to hammer it that way. You almost wanna keep a scribe in there to keep it from going all the way that way, to keep it straight. That way then when you're hammering the roll pin in either that way or that way, it stays in place. That's why, the reason why I wanted the other one is because the other, you just put the screw in there and you screw it in, and you don't have to worry about all that hammering, and it'll stay centered. Probably be a little easier to do. But once that's in there, the little eyelet end of the cable is centered inside the hole. It's flush there, and it's in there, so it's not really flush. It's really like sitting in the middle of the two. And I did put a little white lithium grease in there. Put a little bit of this in there. They give you that energy suspension stuff, but I don't know. It's right now it's moving a lot smoother now. So I'm sure as I go, it'll run even better. It'll get a little smoother. But it's not going to no resistance on anything right now. I can do one or two things. Either I can hook this thing up to the transmission, which I don't know if I should do that just yet, because it's just going to be sitting there out in the open. So I'm probably not going to do that. Before, what I did is I wrapped this thing up in saran wrap. Now, you're saying, why do you do that, man? Let me tell you why I do that, dog. I do that because it's a lot of dust and dirt in here. And I don't want all that dust and dirt to get inside there with the grease, because then it'll start wearing away at the metal in there as you move it and you're shifting and stuff like that. So it's just really a way for me to protect everything up. But for the most part, that's it, man. Not that hard of an install when you figure out a better and more clever way to do it, which I think I got that clever. And what made it hard is this big freaking hammer. So what is this? Just a 3-pound hammer? Yep, 3-pound hammer. That's all I have. I don't have anything really that small. Get the right hammer, a smaller hammer, and then you can hammer that in there. Like I told you guys, if you put a scribe in there to keep it in place, and then at that point you get you another punch that's going to be small enough to get you in between that eyelet and line it up, and then your roll pin should roll right in. It should go right in between it. And this is what did I have? This is a 1/16. It's a 1/16 punch. That's what kind of fits in the middle of that roll pin. It'll fit in there, but it helps you line it up. And then, like I told you guys, you need to use. I used a 3/32 punch
to punch the roll pin all the way in. To start it off with, I did use a bigger one just so it was a more surface area, and that was a 5/32. That got it all the way in there good, but to keep myself from scratching anything, I got a smaller size. So those are the sizes that I used, and that's it, man. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys on this one. Like I said, hopefully I didn't take too much of y'all's time up on this video, but right now it's in there and it's getting smoother as I move it. When it's time to put it in the car, that's what's gonna tell the tale right there. But that's all I got. Appreciate you guys, man. If you made it this far in the video, man, if you did, man, you are a real one, dog. So make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, hit all so you get notified whenever I put out a video. And until that next video, fam, peace.